Negative comments about extended breastfeeding. Loves to breastfeed. It's freaking hard. How long are you planning on continuing kind of the sagginess? Breastfeeding a school-aged child. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a different video. I'm going to be talking about extended breastfeeding. So if you guys didn't know, I have two children. My son Jacob is almost 4 and my daughter Jazz is almost 2. She'll be 2 in 3 months? 2 months. About that. I wanted to film a video answering your questions about extended breastfeeding. With my son Jacob, he was my firstborn and he struggled a lot with breastfeeding. We made it to 5 months of breastfeeding and that was a big success for me, or for us, because we both struggled a lot. Jacob struggled to latch. Come to know it, a lot of people who are on the autism spectrum have trouble with feeding, so that's interesting. But Jazz, she pretty much latched on straight away and hasn't stopped since. She loves to breastfeed. And I think that because Jacob didn't breastfeed as long as I wanted, I kind of just let Jazz feed for as long as she wanted. World Health Organization says that they recommend breastfeeding till 2 years old because of the health benefits of it. There's been multiple times where I thought maybe we should be stopping. I've had people say maybe you should just go away for a couple of days and she'll stop breastfeeding. Jazz could be away from me for 2 or 3 nights, and which doesn't happen very often, but when it did, she just wanted to breastfeed when she came back. So I'm pretty happy with it. In saying that, I am very pro feed your baby, however that may be. Jacob was formula fed from when he was about 4-ish months till after he was 1 year old. And very much, as long as you're feeding your baby the appropriate thing, formula or breast milk, then go you, because both of them have their challenges and both of them have their amazing rewards. So I also wanted to say that for the mums who aren't able to breastfeed, I feel for you because it's freaking hard. Sometimes it just doesn't work out that way, and I know the emotions attached to it because Jacob did refuse to breastfeed and it was very emotional. I would cry a lot, and I feel for you guys, and please know that you aren't a failure. It's not anything to do with you. Your baby will still love you immensely. The bond is still there. I just wanted to put that in there because it is a video about extended breastfeeding, and if it does trigger you, please stop watching. I'm going to answer some questions that you guys have asked me over on Instagram. If you haven't already, go over to our Instagram and follow us so that you can be involved in some of these videos. So the first question is, how often does Jazz feed? And Jazz currently only feeds once at night time before she goes to bed. She doesn't feed to sleep. I've always done that where I feed her and keep her awake and then she goes to sleep. In saying that, if she does wake overnight, I do feed her back to sleep. Lately, she's been pretty good with not waking up overnight. She's slept through the night quite a few nights. She'll have the odd night where she'll wake once or maybe twice, but that's very occasional, and I'll just feed her back to sleep. The next question is, how long are you planning on continuing? So as I said before, I don't really have a plan. For some reason, the age of 2, in my mind says maybe we should start thinking about weaning. I don't want her to get too dependent on it, although if she does, it's not really a big deal. Jazz isn't very reliant on it. She just sort of has it as a comfort feed before bed. So if she skips out on it one night when she's sleeping over at her grandmother's house, she doesn't care. I kind of have an emotional attachment to it as well, because we kind of decided that Jazz was our last child. We've finished our family. It gets sad sometimes when I think about if we wean, that's going to be the last time I'm ever going to breastfeed any of my children. So I don't know why that's so emotional for me, but I guess it's all the hormones that come with breastfeeding. My next question is, do you still pump when you're away from your baby after they're a year old? So no, after she was a year old, I stopped stressing about how she had to have all those feeds during the day. After 1 year old, food should be the preference for your baby or your toddler, whatever you want to call them. Jazz has always been a good eater, so I wasn't worried about leaving her and not having any pumped breast milk. Even though if I did pump right now, I probably wouldn't get anything. She'll happily drink like almond milk or soy milk. Yeah, I haven't pumped probably since she was a baby, under 1 year old. Have you ever had negative comments about extended breastfeeding? I wouldn't say I have. I've got quite a very supportive family and friend network. We don't breastfeed in public, or because Jazz only has it at nighttime, so we don't tend to share with the world that we breastfeed. Like, we don't, it's not that I don't want to share it, it's just that it just doesn't come up. So I haven't had anyone say anything to me. I'm very lucky because I know that there are so many people out there that do like get a lot of negative comments, and I'm very, very sorry that you get those. Do you feel like extended breastfeeding took over your body? No, I don't think so. Jazz will only feed for about 5 to 10 minutes once a day, so it really doesn't feel like it's taken over my body. I feel like in the early stages of when Jazz was just born, it felt like it had taken over my body. I didn't have a break. She was exclusively breastfed, so I didn't get a break. She refused a bottle for a very long time, so it was very hard and it felt like she owned my body, if that makes any sense. I loved it to bits, but it did feel like it took over my body. But I've never been resentful for it. I've always considered myself lucky. And as for my breasts, there is definitely a physical aspect of it. So breastfeeding does do things to your breasts. I've definitely, they've gotten a lot saggier. That I'm sorry if this is TMI, but they're feeding off them, and I just think of it as a beautiful thing that my body is able to produce food for my child. And in the early days, I got quite a few stretch marks, and as time goes on, they sort of calm down a bit, and then you have kind of the sagginess. So definitely in that aspect, it has taken over my body, but I don't take it in a negative way because I feel like it's done such an amazing thing. How do I feel about breastfeeding a school-aged child? Honestly, do whatever suits you. I've seen so many people talk about breastfeeding their 5 or 6 year old, and I've heard of a lot of negative comments about it, and I honestly, it's not affecting you, it's not affecting anything about you. So let the family do what they want to do, let the mother do what she wants to do, and let the child do what he wants to do. It's not harming anybody, so I'm not against it. I don't think that we will get to that point, but we might. Who knows? Okay, that's pretty much it for today's video. I know it's a short one, I'm so sorry. If you have any other questions about breastfeeding, comment them down below and I'll try my best to get back to them. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and like the video. We will see you guys in our next one.